Most of the engines that we'll see coming into the arena here today have two men operating them, or they were designed for that. But there's a class of vehicle known as a steam tractor, which was designed to a low weight, around 5 tonnes, and a low power, typically 5 horsepower or under, which could legally be operated by one man, thus giving considerable saving in terms of wages for the operator. And our first engine in the arena, 26, just past the Coventry box now, is one of those. Built by Wallis Steevens, one of the two major manufacturers of steam engines in Hampshire. This is an oil bath from a tractor dating from 1912. This is the sort of thing that would have been used by local councils for hauling trailers, carrying roadstone, or maybe furniture suppliers, removals men, hauling furniture, pantechnicons and the like. This particular one was new to James Falconer, Lord Falconer, original diva, and used on his estate. Spent years out of use, being abandoned as scrap for passing into preservation. Owned these days by Paul Rich from Steeple in Essex, and has been a regular participant at the event here at Tinkers Park over the last few years. Now we've got one of a number of engines you'll see here this weekend with the emblem of the County of Kent, Prancing Horse the Invicta, on the headstock. This was a trademark of Aveling and Porter. Thomas Aveling had his works at Rochester in Kent, hence his adoption of the county's emblem there. And he built a variety of engines, and is best known for their steam rollers. And these steam rollers were sold in their thousands to councils and contractors around the country, and also in good numbers as well to abroad. And it's easy to forget that the steam traction engines built in Britain were regarded as the best in the world, and were exported all over Europe, South America, Asia, and the like, and of course helped by the fact that in those days we still had an empire giving us a ready market. This particular one is a 12-tonner named King George, built in 1922, and this is entered by Matt and Lucy Webber from Turner's Hill, who've only recently acquired this one from Colin Apside, who in his hands disappears here in the past. Now, we were talking earlier about the general purpose traction engine, and approaching the Coventry box now is a fine example of one of these, bearing the name Burrell on the smoke box door. And Burrells had their works up in Thetford in Norfolk, and they were regarded as very high quality engines, very individual design, very high standard of engineering, and in fact they still command a high price when sold to enthusiasts these days. This one's named the Monk, and has been a regular participant here at Hadlow Down. This could be used for carrying trailers on the road, it could be used for driving out machinery, it could also be used for timber work. You'll see on the back of this one, on the near side it goes round, two vertically mounted rollers, and the cable could run off from there to a winching drum on the back axle. It could be used for pulling trees out of the woods on forestry work. Next, further example of the Aveling Porter roller, and this one is Rhoda, who started working life down in Newport in Monmouthshire, owned by Michael Fuller and his family from Gravesend in Kent. Travels a good many miles each year to events, always travelling on the road running its own steam, capable of a good turn of speed. And behind that, another example of the Burrell, but this time in traction engine form with canopy. And this one is known as Buller, built in 1903, and it's carrying the plate fitted by its original operator, the magnificently titled Exminster Thrashing and Sawing Company, which tells you all about the work that this engine would have done when it was new. It's now in the hands of David Young from Buxted, just along the road here, and David acquired this as a huge pile of bits and put it up and running in good workmanlike running order, and it's had further work done to it just recently as well. Now, Burrells also were very well known for their road locomotives. These were the big, heaviest sorts of road haulage steam engines. And you can see how big this one is, just past the Coventry box now. 7 horsepower, dating from 1908, and these massively constructed engines could carry 4 very large loads, and also could be coupled 2 and sometimes 3 together with a big low load of trailer. This one had a long working life through to 1967, came into preservation then, it's been in the hands of Alan Mitchell from Maresfield regularly since then. Next we've got another one of the Aveling and Porters, this time a general traction engine by Hugh Tifton from Battle, and this is one of only 5 in existence with the motion on the left hand side, one which spent all its working life in Kent and still carries its original Kent registration with the letters K and E there. Approaching us now is a further example of the big heavy road locomotive, this time manufactured by Fowler's. Now Fowler's operated out of what was known as the steam plow works up in Leeds, giving you a hint as to what their main business was. And this one was built originally for export, 7 horsepower job. Came back into this country and is now owned by Rhoda in Billericay in Essex. This one does a good many miles each year on the road under its own steam as well, including being steamed over the Queen Elizabeth Bridge, the Dartford crossing, when it comes from Essex down into Kent and then across to Sussex for events such as this one here. And on occasion it's also been being carried over the river on the Wallis Ferry as well. A similar care rather follows next. It's a further example of the Aveling Porter, which has been rebuilt in recent times into package engine form. And next the first of our ploughing engines. 3 ploughing engines we've got here today, one awaiting repair, so not in steam, but we've got a further 2 here. This was in fact the mainstay of steam engine production for the Fowler company, the ones which they were best known for. You'll see as this one comes around, it's massive construction and a big drum carrying cable mounted underneath the boiler. These engines would work in pairs, with one engine at one side of the field, one at the other, cable in between, and what was known as a balance plough mounted in between the two. It was shaped like a letter V, with one side of the letter V with the ploughshares on it, down in the ground, and given the signal, engine number 1 would pull the plough across the field. When it got to the other side, the V-shaped plough could be tipped over, so the second set of ploughshares on the other side would be engaged with the ground, and engine number 2 could pull it back again. Very effective way of ploughing, particularly on heavy clay soil, set it right up into the centre of the areas as well. Also very useful if you put the dredging bucket on it instead of the plough, the dredging blades as well. Now, we've got 2 examples of the steam wagon in its various forms in various varieties. The 2 major manufacturers in this country of steam wagons were Foden and Sentinel. Sentinels were based up at Shrewsbury, and they built steam wagons for road haulage work, and also a good number of specialist steam tractors for timber haulage work. And it's an example we've got of one of those, just past the commentary box now, based here at Teachers Park. This is a Sentinel timber tractor dating from 1934, new to Woodson and Sons of Cannock, and it's